Greetings, Crystalline Star Children. I am Akasha Azurite. This is a Star Code Stargate Mastery School. This is for the Merkaba Vehicle Super Quantum Computer System Programming and Training. This will be level 7. This is the last of the course in the program. I hope that you enjoyed all of these activation and light technology transmissions and were able to receive on a conscious level what we have brought forth in training for you, and that it helps expand your consciousness and transforms your life and changes you. So please send us all feedbacks to, it will be to my email at awakeningwithakasha@gmail.com. And I will put that below. So all feedback, we would love to hear how it transforms your life, changes your life, and expands your consciousness. We are going to do the last transmission. Everything is a quantum light technology transmission. So the last training we're going to go over is more advanced super quantum computer system abilities. If you want to say more activating. So I want to teach you a few things. I'm going to go into some examples of, I'm going to say activating your stargates and your internal stargates. So for starseeds and indigos, a lot of us try to put more of the logical mind into kind of into play, into our conscious field. You can do everything very simple, and it's, I guess you could say it's all belief, and if you feel like it's working, you want to visualize, hear, and see it. So you want to first visualize your Merkaba vehicle, and like I said, it will be 2 tetrahedrons, Merkaba system spinning in the opposite direction, and it looks like a conscious ship, and it's a vehicle light, so it has frequency bandwidth, looks like rings, and the tetrahedrons that are always moving. So the whole ship, conscious ship, is at a light speed and it is moving. So I'm trying to give the best picture that I possibly could, but you would actually have to see one actually coming up to you, and when you actually see one coming up to you, you will realize that it's a Merkaba vehicle, and it's a vehicle of light. Now there's the first system, which is I believe it's called the Awaken system, and then there's the Diamond Merkaba. Okay, so the first phase is going to be the tetrahedrons. It looks like upside down pyramids. That is the first Merkaba system, and then there's Diamond system. There's going to be one previous to that, and that's going to, I believe, that would be the second Lightbody phase, but there's 4 Lightbody phases. Now there is higher, but from what you guys know, there's only 4 to 5 phases in the Merkaba, and I'm going to say as far as galactic downloads and upgrades that have come in, knowing that there is 4 to 5 Merkaba systems. I want to communicate about activating. So you can activate all of your internal gates just by setting the intention with your higher self. So you want to activate and go into the system. Like I said, you can go into a lotus position, or you can stand up and walk around like I do. I usually, I do lots of training with galactics standing up. So we work through multiple timelines, quantum timelines, time traveling, whatever we need to do as far as walking through the walking through the multiverses. So you can walk through the multiverses, you can run through the multiverses too as well, but that would be more active training. So I'm not doing that right now. I'll figure out a way to teach you guys how to do it in the future. I think I did one workshop for it, and hopefully I'll be able to train everyone in the future. So it is a high quantum technology, light technology intelligence, It is a vehicle of light. It is ran telepathically, and it's a ship, and it's a conscious ship, and it will expand and get bigger as it grows. I've seen ones, I've tuned into ships as big as, well, as big as the Earth system or bigger. So those are also ran telepathically too as well. You can, most of the commanders on those ships will run them telepathically through their minds. And that's actually how they navigate everything, the ship, the conscious ship that they are driving. Now that's more starships. And the highest commander will actually run it telepathically with their mind. I'm just letting you know. You can do the same with your Merkaba, and that's actually how I'm trained. So it is the Merkaba vehicle of light, but we call it the superquantum computer system. It is telepathically ran through sound, vibration, tones, and colors, but also I'm trained more in directing. So it could be light technology direction too. And I call it light technology because I'm speaking star language and I'm speaking an angelic language, and I'm navigating the vehicle in itself, which is a conscious ship. So it is ran telepathically. So what you can do when you're ready, you can start activating all of your telepathic abilities online to be able to navigate this ship. So I most likely would be standing and doing star language, and I'm able to go through multiverses from here to Arcturus, to Sirius, to different civilizations and different points in time. It is time travel. So in the Merkaba, but this is more advanced time travel. Most of the time, you'll go into meditation with your Merkaba. There's all different types of forms as far as time traveling in your Merkaba and learning how to travel through time in your vehicle of light. There is Stargates. So you want to learn about the Stargates, activate all of your Stargates and your internal Stargates. So you will have Stargates in your chakra system, and you will activate all of those on. You can activate all of your quantum telepathic abilities, most likely navigation abilities, to be able to sit into telepathically. You would be telepathically directing your ship through the mind and through the heart center. There's a lot of machinery that comes in here that most of the high ambassadors, or you would consider them commanders, would be navigating, and how they actually navigate, at least the way that I'm trained here on Earth, in the Earth style, if you want to say, is I will be speaking star language. So it's and I'll be walking around in a 360 degree, or I'll be walking in sacred geometry forms. So that's another way that I'm able to walk through space and time and navigate through other dimensions. Now it's sacred geometry in the way that we walk, and I wouldn't be able to show you at this point in time. I would have to discuss with the higher selves what would be the highest way to show you, and that would probably take a little bit more, maybe filming equipment, to be able to show you how would you navigate telepathically to run a conscious ship. And it is a conscious ship. It's a ship that you can't see yet, but I can see it, and others can see their ships too. Okay, so you have to understand that you have to be able to see the crystalline realms. And I call it the crystalline realms because that's exactly what it is. The 5th dimensional realms, the 7th dimensional realms, or the 12th dimensional realms. You'd have to be able to see it to be able to see what your ship looks like. And I've been seeing my ship since 2000, my ship and my Stargates since 2013. I would just have to look up, and it took me a few years to realize that I was actually looking at my Merkaba the whole time. I was looking at my conscious ship the whole time. So that took some expansions, and then once I realized, I said, "Oh, it's my ship. It's the Merkaba." So then I was able to tune into that, and I was able to realize that that's actually what I was energetically seeing the whole time, and I could see the movements of a ship. So eventually you'll be telepathically commanding and navigating this ship with your mind. This is more galactic timelines. You can walk and navigate in sacred geometry positions to move in different directions to time travel, and walk through time and space, walk through Stargates. So you will be activating your Stargates, and then you're going to learn how to teleport through gateways in the physical. Now, how you would do that is you would open up a gate and you would teleport. And the teleportation is, well, it can feel like a vortex, an energetic vortex that you're moving through. Pressure. Sometimes I won't be able to move, possibly for how long? Maybe like 7 or 10 hours, and that's a form of teleportation. Where you'll feel like a heaviness, like this, kind of like you are gravitationally pulling somewhere else, and my higher self will push me through gates and stargates. Now I can actually see the crystalline realm, so I can actually see the stargate that we'll be teleporting through. Sometimes I will be awake and half in a meditative state, and we will be accelerating through a stargate, through my heart chakra. And we'll be moving from one gate to the next gate to the next gate. It depends on where we're going, if you want to say. Teleportation, we would have to move into function and to shift and to teleport and to telepathically navigate the ship through our minds, through different hand gestures and the you can call it hand gestures, but it's light language. So I would be walking around in my light language and very at high quantum speed, and I can teleport and activate stargates, and you can activate internal gates. You can walk through gateways, move from dimension to dimension, and then time travel. So I can always just walk into another time and space if I want to, and to be able to see it in my holographic screen and multidimensionally look around. Now, if I really want to shift energetically, work through timelines, merge through timelines, do realignments and readjustments, we will work in sacred geometry forms and navigate the conscious ship in different directions. So as we move and shift into all of these different directions, we're able to reset and realign timelines, time travel, biolocate, etherically biolocate. You can do that in your Merkaba too as well. I can send my Merkaba to wherever it needs to be. This is the conscious ship, says etheric biolocation. So I can multiply it if I want to. I can multiply it into thousands. It's multidimensional, so it could be multiple into thousands, 10,000s, and it's etheric biolocation. So you would see just one of you. Now, if you actually would be able to see, I could send out 1,000 me's, and I would see 1,000 me's talking like this, and they would all sound like me talking like this and looking at me. And that right there is forms of multidimensional biolocation. Now, multidimensional to me is my Sirian self, or my Arcturian self, my Lyran self. Multidimensionally shifting into these multidimensionals, and I can actually see them, but you probably won't. Unless you are completely activated in the fifth dimension, or at a third dimensional consciousness, you might see me shift for a minute and then shift back. But you won't see me in my full multidimensional, like looking at you and saying, "Oh my God, I can see your Arcturian!" Like it's so clear. I can just see the Arcturian just like multidimensionally shifting. If you're in a third dimensional consciousness, you probably will catch the glimpse for maybe about a second or a nanosecond. And eventually, I would expand you enough if you were in my field, and if you were in my field, you'd be able to actually see. And as you expand in consciousness, you would activate in your light body. Eventually, you would pop open, and then you actually would see me shifting. Okay, people can say whatever they want, but there is a crystalline DMT activation, and they'll say, "Oh, it's the DMT producing in your pineal gland." Whatever you guys want to say to create whatever it is. And that's fine. But the facts is that we are returning to our multidimensional selves, which means that you are actually seeing what you are seeing. It's multidimensional, so you could be multidimensionals from other times and spaces and angelics that are shifting into you, and you are the starseed. You are the angelic human. So you will be shifting in the earth physical plane. Okay, so DMT producing the natural of the pineal gland DMT and the crystalline DMT and the crystalline plasma. Okay, when it starts to activate in the chambers and then the brain and then the Godhead opens, You should be able to see into the fifth dimensional clearly. You should be able to see everybody's crystallizations, the crystallization matrix. You should be able to see their light bodies, their sacred geometries. You should be able to see their crystal crowns, their headdresses, pretty much everything on them energetically. That would be you being fully online. So it would be normal for you to be able to see all of the energetics and all of the crazy, bizarre, trippy things that normally you wouldn't see. You have to condition to be able to see these. So what I'm explaining this for a reason, that there's a lot that comes into play and activating into the light body. So you can say the etheric bilocation would be 100,000 me's that you would see talking to you like this. That can be normal for me, and I do say normal because I have tried it, but I also I energetically practice with someone from my soul group. So it is a lot of fun to activate these high quantum abilities, and we have so much fun doing it. So I will actually see when my Lyran comes in, and I can see it multidimensionally on the super quantum computer system. Now they are at a higher vibrational frequency, so this higher vibrational of me is going to need a lot of light and expansion. When this multidimensional comes in, it is an absolute beautiful experience. Now I can actually walk right in. I can go right to my stations. I can go access all of my ships. I'm able to just walk right in to the majority of my ships and my light ships, and I can see them. Most of the time they will teleport to me, and I can actually see them teleporting into the physical. So those are going to be other ambassadors, comrades, I guess you would say, or commanders that will, guardians, I'm going to call them guardians, guardians that will just walk right in, and I'm able to see them because I vibrate high enough and they vibrate high enough, and it's a very beautiful experience. We communicate and telepathically communicate through our heart centers. So I telepathically communicate to them through the heart. I started off with telepathic communication through the mind. Now telepathic communication through the heart center. Now you will navigate your ship through the mind, and you can navigate it through the channels here, and you can also navigate it through the heart center, and that would be the conscious ship. Now, yeah, I'm going to get into that. Now you can always activate new DNA strands, new DNA strands programming. So you can just activate, install all crystalline new DNA strand programming. Activate your crystalline diamond DNA. So you can just install and activate all of these into your templates, into your hard drives, and install all software. So all new abilities, you can install all new software, and you can actually install this in your Heaven and Earth holographic screen that I told you to make, where you can use icons, or it would kind of be like an Apple slide or computer that you can actually sit there and you can design and to create. So you can always install the quantum abilities and high quantum abilities from the fifth dimension, which those are just magical abilities, 7th dimensional abilities, and 12th dimensional abilities. So you can install these into your hard drives, and this would be your Heaven on Earth screen from level 2 that I was helping you consciously create. And you do want to use the screen because you can go in and you can install, and you will learn how to be able to find everything that you would like to consciously create. So you would want to install all of your high quantum crystalline abilities. You can install those too, all of your telepathic abilities, but I highly recommend going at ease with those. Just letting you know, you want to be in an environment, or like me, where I am away from more society. So I'm up high in a mountain point, and that is for my vibrational frequency to be high. I cannot, it's hard for me to go into lower consciousness frequencies, and you can say a lower consciousness, but it's going to be third dimensional consciousness just right now until I do some energetic management. So when you're telepathically open and you activate all your telepathic abilities, you're going to be wide open. The wider open you are, the more you're going to receive all and who is in your conscious field and their subconscious and all their unconsciousness too. And I call it unconsciousness because it's their unconscious in sleeping behaviors. But you'll be able to telepathically kind of receive like a radio station. So you don't want to tune them, you don't want to turn on all your telepathic abilities. I've had all of mine on since 2013. Most likely before that, because we all are all telepathic beings. But as far as telepathic abilities, that was in 2013, where I can actually read people's minds. High X-ray visions, you'll be able to do that. High X-ray visions and the holographics and the super quantum computer system, you can do X-rays. I can actually scan into somebody's X-ray, and I can start data downloading everything that's in their energetics, their organs, bones, all of their systems. I can start receiving. You can see through X-ray too as well. There's all these other abilities too, where you have crystalline light coming from your eyes, and every different multidimensional that shifts into me will have a different frequency color. So some will have an ultraviolet, some will have blue, a blue frequency, an ultraviolet frequency, and a gold frequency. And the gold is more the Lyran, and that's the Lyran that comes in, and I can actually see a crystalline light coming from my eyes. That's going to be third Merkaba system. I'm going to say third Merkaba system upgrade. These are different angelic hues that you will multidimensionally integrate with. So you can activate all of your Stargates and learn how to work through Stargates and teleport through Stargates. And you are actually teleportation. There is teleportation in the physical. Translocation is different, okay? There is physical teleportation, where you can teleport from the one dimension to the next, from one harmonic universe to the next, okay? So it's physical, and it will feel like a vortex, an energetic vortex, or a suction cup, okay? Sometimes you could feel like you're going backwards and moving forwards. This is the quantum fields, so that teleportation is different. Translocation is actually when you can translocate from one point to the next, okay? That's actual physical translocation. You would think it's teleportation, but it's called translocation. So you can translocate. Now you can translocate from one dimension to the next dimension, and that's fine, but this is actual physical, where you would look up the coordinates and the access points in your Merkaba and in your Stargate. So you can access the access point like in the old days before the fall, I guess. I call it the old days, but I'm sure it exists here somewhere, because I wouldn't be seeing everyone that I actually do see that translocates to me. And you can, what you would do is you would set the coordinates for an access gate, let's say to Sirius B, and connect to an access gate to be able to teleport in. And it would be, well, it would be translocating. So I actually would be physically putting in the coordinates and the access point, because I would have to go from one gate to the next gate. And this gate would be in Sirius B, so I could actually translocate from here, and let's say into a temple, or a crystalline structure. Temple, it would be a temple to us, but that's what it would look like. I could translocate, and it would be physical. So I would put up the coordinates and the access points, and it would be right here on my screen. I can actually see it, and then I would sit there, and I would move my consciousness and teleport my consciousness first, and it would start to amplify, and then I would translocate. So I would materialize, or I would dematerialize into physical form, and then materialize into the gate, or past the gate, pretty much like translocation, and I would teleport into the gate in Sirius B. So I would dematerialize and then materialize. And that is translocation. You would call it teleportation, but we call it translocation. So you would see it automatically, get the coordinates, where you were going, okay? And it would be on Sirius B, and then that would be it. I would just see it, and it's just like light speed and quantum, and that would be it. And I open my eyes, and I'm in Series B. Okay, so this is what I do remember. And then I got here, and we have cars and all kinds of stuff here that are just really weird, and the telephone poles that I think, well, we know are pretty much harming the humans. Um, anyways, that's pretty much my awakening. So we have cars here, which freak me out. I have to drive it, but it will freak you out. Like if you know that you are teleporting and translocating like this, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened? What happened? What the heck is going on here? That's the true starseed waking up. Like, why is this like this? And why are the telephone poles? That's my hugest freak outs, that I'm like, they're trying to kill us here with these telephone poles. Like I said, as all I keep telling them, I keep showing all of, the guardians. I'm like, this is what they're doing. I have to sit, and I also have to sit here on a computer that is harming my field too. So I am doing this for all of you guys, to be honest with you. So the only reason why I'm doing it is for starseeds and indigos and crystal children, so they don't feel like they're alone, and so they know that they're not going completely crazy. So there's a reason why I put these out there, because to be honest with you, I really honestly would not want to sit in front of this. We wouldn't need this. We used to be able to telepathically communicate to each other. We don't need phones. We don't need any of this. Everything is like right here in our quantum field and in our Merkaba ship. So we used to be able to telepathically communicate to each other through our heart centers and stand in front of each other, or teleport to each other, or translocate to each other, and to be able to stand in front of each other and communicate and to talk. So this is, I have no idea what this is. Anyways, the TVs, the electronics, the everything that we have for communication. It's almost as if it's obviously that I'm from the future, but I feel like that they're trying to poison people. Anyways, just letting you know. I mean, I feel like they are. I mean, we pretty much know that's what it is. So I'm here to teach you guys how to go back. And what you want to do, I feel like I'm always like going, what you really want to do is activate your 12 crystalline DNA strands. So you don't have to use these technologies anymore, and you can learn all these advanced abilities and remember who you are. And this is what I'm here for. And I'm here to teach you all these high human intelligence advanced levels that we are moving to in the future. Okay, now we should be there by 2038, fully online, hopefully to at least translocation, where we can go translocate to Andromeda and come back. And that's what I'm working on, is the realignment to Andromedas, and that's one of my highest contracts. And what I came in here for, that's like a whole nother story, but I can actually see the alignments here, and I just want to make sure that I can translocate and then translocate back. So 2038 actually looks really well for us. Just want you to know that we should be able to telepathically communicate to each other and translocate, and we won't have to use majority of this technology. So I guess we'll see in 2038. I'm hoping. Let's see. So telepathic ability, teleporting through realities. You can teleport through realities, merge with realities. There's parallel realities. Parallel Earths are going to be heart-to-heart communication. So obviously, I'm from the 3000, so I'm from a higher Earth, obviously, and it's obvious. Multidimensional verses. So you can learn how to walk through Stargates, and you usually can just open up a Stargate, and you can. So you can try translocation if you want to, and you can do it etherically. And I have been able to test this out. I have translocated, and I have been able to experience this, but it's most likely in a meditative state when I'm half awake, half asleep. Oh yeah, my leg almost ripped apart translocating one time. But I was translocating, and like half of my leg was like ripping apart, because we can't do that here. And it's either my physical body wasn't up to par, and my Merkaba is trying to translocate, and there's a vibrational, like there's vibrational energetics, okay, that was not allowing this translocation. And this was probably about a year ago. So it felt like my leg was shredding, and it was like materializing, dematerializing, materializing, dematerializing, materializing, dematerializing. I can move in certain ways, and I was materializing and then dematerializing. Is actually really, really cool. Just letting you know. So you can learn how to activate a Stargate, and you just open it up, and eventually you realize that you can see the Stargate once you're able to. You'll see everything remotely, and this is how it starts. You'll see everything remote view in front of you, which is cool, and it's really it's amazing. So you can see everything in remote view, and then eventually you actually will see the holograms start to come in, and it's really cool when you actually get to see the whole gates and the stargates, and you're like, oh, they're really there. But for a while, you'll see everything in remote view, and that is the system. That is the Merkaba system that is showing you that this is here. So a lot of people will say, oh, it's through my imagination. Am I really seeing this? Yes, you are seeing this, okay? You are seeing it. I keep trying to explain this to people that is exactly how you will start to see it in remote view. And then you will actually see the crystalline matrix, and you should be able to see the gates. So you open up a gate and you can teleport. Let's say you're in the 4th dimension. You can activate a gate and just walk through it and close it on the other side and walk into the 5th dimension. Okay? You can walk into the 7th dimension. You can walk into the 12th dimension. I would just sit there and just walk into the highest as fast as possible. You can walk into higher harmonic universes. So I usually will go into the 3rd and 4th and 5th harmonic universes and parallel verses. So you can open up gates and just walk right in. And you can in the physical. You can do it through meditation. If you want to, it's fine. Whatever you feel like you want to do, but I like to walk. I like to do active. I like to move in sacred geometry movements, and I will just work through, most likely with my hands and different gestures and light language, and I will just activate, and I will just sit there, and it's like quantum light speed, and I can just move from one dimension to the next dimension, open up stargates and teleport in. I can just walk through a gateway and quantum jump. So you can quantum jump, I can quantum leap. I pretty much could just go, okay, I'm just going to open this gate, and I'm just going to jump like 5 timelines, and I'm going to close it on the other end. So there's different ways that you can do it. You can call it quantum jumping, but I can go hopping timelines, and you can move through timelines, move through dimensions, and what else? And a crystalline universe. So that's what I do, and I'll just walk around, and I'll just move from one dimension to the next. I like to stay in the 5th dimension, sometimes in the 7th dimension, but I most likely will stay in the 5th dimension. If I go into a 3rd dimension, I can feel it. I can feel the energetic shifts. So I pretty much know that I connected my consciousness with a 3rd dimensional consciousness, and I most likely need to navigate my butt back to the 5D. So I'll just sit there and open it up. Now sometimes if I'm purging, releasing, or have reflection work, I'll stay in the middle, and I call it a void space. And then I'll be able to walk right back in. So you can do this too. Collapsing timelines, like I said, you can collapse timelines. You can walk through timelines if you want to, and to start navigating to see what it is, what timelines are in the future. And you can see them materialize into physical form in front of you. The next thing would be I guess if a question to you, the next would be, all right, subconscious and unconscious flips, walking in the dreams. All right, so the Godhead will open, and everything will merge together, where your dream state will be your waking state, which is the lucid dream walking, and then your lucid dreams could be in your dream state, but it would be the subconscious and the consciousness merging together as one. All of your unconscious and all of your subconscious, and it could be your fears, could start surfacing in your physical, okay? And this will this will happen too, and it could be in your waking state, and that's how everything will flip. So you could have fifth dimensional dream states, and then eventually fifth dimensional in the waking state, which fifth dimensional is going to be pastels, light spectrums, being able to see the crystalline realms. Pastels, when you walk outside, everything's going to be very vivid in color, and that is the fifth dimensional frequency, and that would be in your physical waking state. The conscious flips, so you will have flips and flip-flops for a while, and then eventually you'll just go right in. So you can have lucid dreaming and lucid walk dreaming in the physical, which would be in your waking state. And that feels like you're walking in a dream. That will become very normal. And then there's vivid HD. So vivid HD is where you see everything expanded. You see everything in an HD. And it is HD, and it'd be like looking through your virtual glasses, okay? And it's absolutely amazing. But you would see everything in an expansion and light spectrums, and you'll always be in blissful states, always maintaining blissful states. Eventually, you might be fighting to maintain blissful states. It depends on your environment, and you will have to change your environment eventually, okay? You will realize you're going to have to release a lot of contracts and attachments, and you're going to have to just go. So you can choose to stay in the third dimensional consciousness and imprisonment system, or you can go into the new earth gates, okay? You will have to release everything, and that's pretty much it. You will have to, if you might be fighting for a while to maintain the blissful states, and I will tell you this because I went through huge quantum jumps and shifts and ups and downs to get to just to maintain a blissful state. Once I was able to do it, I chose nothing else. So you have choices. You can choose to stay in this consciousness, or you can choose to go all the way in. I chose my freedom. Okay, so because I chose my freedom, I'm in blissful states at least 90% of my existence right now. Some will be 20%. A few months ago, it was lower than that. But for right now, in maintaining, there is no space and time. So the maintaining for the last few months has been really high blissful states. So you have to choose at a certain point your freedom, and you will have to choose either the third dimension, or the fourth dimension, or the fifth dimension. Okay, so you will either accelerate to high quantum abilities and be able to do all these high-tech abilities and work through your super quantum computer system and your Merkaba system and teleport and be your multidimensional spiritual being self. The true multidimensional spiritual being self is what I'm going to say, because my abilities are extremely bizarre and out there, and I've only met a few people on this planet that I actually know about that work at a quantum speed. It's only a few. There's probably more. I might see like 10 or 11 that are at this quantum speed and at this accelerated rate, as far as and I call them galactic timelines or avatar consciousness timelines. Okay, this is the avatar consciousness. I can choose whatever multidimensional that I want to be in at that point in time. So it is my star self, my star seed self, star being self. I chose to stay on my galactic timelines, which means I chose to be the galactic star being, and the galactic ambassador in this time, in these timelines. I could go into full embodiment, which would be of source consciousness, and that could be in the future. And I do see myself possibly making that shift. But for quantum multidimensional living, I see with the bizarre abilities and the experiences, I see about 10 online. fully. And that can teleport and translocate and maintain into the 5th dimension up to the 12th and the 15th dimension. Now you can anchor in and you can embody and integrate. And when you integrate, you would be integrating the abilities, clearing distortions of what you need to multidimensionally, and then move on. But I will have to say that you can do that all the time. But teleportation, translocation, biolocation, etheric biolocation, working through your super quantum computer system all the time. And this being your high timeline, I only am able to connect to maybe 10 on this earth so far. So I am communicating with future, so the futures are like the 3000s and the 4000s, and they are fully online. Now some of my students in the future, maybe from the 2038, 2000 in the 40s, I think it's like 2038, 2040, communicate with me, and they teleport to me all the time, and etherically biolocate with their diamond Merkabas, and I communicate with them. And a lot of them are my students in the future that are etherically biolocating that I teach them. So I teach them everything, and I actually teach them at high quantum abilities, like we actually work physically together, so I physically train them. Which is like, for right now, everything's virtual. So I obviously have something set up, a community for them to come to, and I actually train them physically. Okay, so this is different, and I do know, to me, I'm like, yeah, I believe you because I can see them. There's a difference if you can see or if you can't see. Now, I can see them teleporting to me. So I'm going, oh yeah, you're real. It took me a while, but when they came to me, it was like, I know. You don't have to make a believer out of me. I can see you guys. So I can actually see people teleporting to me and etherically bilocating to me, and I also can see your Merkaba system. So I am that open and that awakened. So that I can actually see you. And I don't sit here in disbelief either. So I don't sit there and go, no, I don't believe in this 1 minute, and the next minute I'm, oh, I believe in this. I know 100% that I am fully online, and I'm able to see all of this all the time. Now, when you actually get to see this after a while and years of conditioning, you will realize that it's normal. So you have to condition it, and a lot of guardians will condition it with you. There are guardians in the Emerald Order. These are the ones that I usually work with. Guardians, different guardian races that will condition you. Arcturians will condition you sometimes too. It depends if you have a contract with them. So I work with an Arcturian, but the majority of them that I work with are guardian races, either from the Andromedan galaxy or Arcturus, Siphokushinti, and Syrian. So those are the ones that I will work with them, and they condition. So conditioning to me is they're here to guide and assist me, but they're like, oh, you can actually see us. So they just walk right in, and I can actually see them standing right in front of me, and I'm like, hello, I'm like, hi. It's very the norm for us. So the ones that I can see etheric bilocating, those are going to be starseeds and indigos and angelic humans. So I see angelic humans from future timelines, and then I see angelic humans from past timelines. So it all depends. There is no time and space. So I always have to ask them, where are you coming from? What brings you here to just walk in and to teleport with me? It's actually amazing experiences, and I'm happy that I am able to experience these. And then there's the starseed part of me that wants the rest of you guys to get up fully online like this and to be able to come online. Okay? So I'm hoping that by 2038 that we won't have to use telephones and we won't have to use computers anymore. That we can all stand, and we can stand and communicate through our Merkaba systems and through our heart centers once again, and unity consciousness. So we will see what happens. Lots of love to you guys. This was level 7, and I'm hoping that this was able to assist you. Now, like I said, all you have to do is just visualize and open up the Stargates. And like I said, you can just tell your higher self, okay, I want to learn what Akasha is teaching me, and I just want to learn how to walk through a Stargate. Walk through a Stargate and then move from one dimension to the next dimension. And you can just walk into a dimension, but I always just close everything on the other side just to make sure, you know, everything is energetically aligned, because I want to move from one dimension to the next.